Chapter 9, Battle Dome and Who's on Trial. Jay sipped his coffee and watched Mitchell and Connors tear each other's designs apart with the passionate intensity of engineers who genuinely believed their approach would save humanity from itself. The spherical design is fundamentally flawed, Connors insisted, her chopsticks clicking against her plate as she gestured. Zero-G combat requires multiple orientation references. Your sphere creates a single focal point that advantages whoever controls the center. Mitchell shook her head vigorously. That's exactly the point. The sphere forces tactical thinking about three-dimensional positioning. Your maze design just recreates terrestrial urban warfare in space. It's not revolutionary, it's regressive. It's practical, Connors countered. Minor gravity differences create drift. Cover positions drift. Team-based objectives are hard to deploy. I'm looking at real combat scenarios instead of gladiator theaters. Jay finished his Eggs Benedict and set down his fork. 2 months of morning debates like this had taught him something important about leadership. Sometimes the best solution wasn't choosing between good ideas, but finding ways to implement all of them. "We're building both," he announced. The argument stopped mid-sentence. "Sir?" Mitchell blinked. "Both designs. Full scale. Competition between engineering teams and between the eventual users. We'll also commission battle gear, armor, weapons, the works. Make it a proper contest to see which approach actually works better in practice." Connors raised an eyebrow. "That's doable. While construction proceeds, we'll run an essay contest on Ender's Game. 1,000 credits first prize, 500 second, 250 third. The top 24 essays get to be our test pilots. 2 teams of 12 for each dome. They will test the domes and decide." Mitchell was already pulling up her tablet, fingers flying across the design interface. "Timeline for construction? 6 weeks for basic structure, another 2 for safety systems and equipment. Think you can manage that?" "Absolutely," Connors said, her competitive streak clearly engaged. "My team will have the maze operational first." "We'll see about that," Mitchell grinned. Jay stood, coffee in hand. "Denise, status report when I get to the office. Connie, any updates from Station 1? Connie's voice came through his implant. "Several items require your attention, Administrator. I have prepared intelligence briefings on ongoing espionage activities, and we have scheduled the first formal criminal trial under Station's law for this afternoon." "Criminal trial?" "Alleged violation of the Station's prime directive, caused no harm to another or anothers. Only directive, really. The incident was recorded and requires adjudication. I am doing this to determine the best format for future trials. I expect that the best format will be informal, conducted virtually rather than in person. But I want to test all possibilities, just to be sure. I conducted the saboteur trials virtually and have the data on them." Jay made his way through the corridors of Station 2, noting how the population had grown. At 10% capacity, they now housed nearly 4.5 million people on this station, and the social dynamics were becoming increasingly complex. Cultural integration, resource allocation, conflict resolution, all the challenges of building a civilization from scratch. His office had a clear view of Earth below, which served as a constant reminder of the bigger picture. His view screen showed construction crews were already beginning preliminary work on the first battle dome. The sight of people working together on something that had been just an idea 2 days ago still amazed him. "Denise," he said as he settled behind his desk, "let's hear those reports." The AI's voice filled the room. "Espionage update. We have identified 17 individuals across both stations that are transmitting information to Earth intelligence agencies. Their activities are being monitored and contained." "Contained how?" "False information protocols. They receive legitimate access to daily operational data, but any sensitive technical specifications or strategic planning materials are replaced with convincing but useless substitutes. They believe they are successfully gathering intelligence." "Clever. What kind of information are they after?" "Primarily impulse drive specifications, ASI programming architecture, and station dynamics, also detailed population counts, defensive capabilities, and resource stockpiles." Jay leaned back in his chair. "And sabotage?" 3 attempts in the past month. 1 electrical fire in Station 1's primary power grid, contained within minutes and repaired. 1 contamination attempt in the water recycling system here on Station 2, neutralized before distribution. 1 effort to introduce computer viruses into our data networks, unsuccessful, due to ASI monitoring.
"How are we handling the perpetrators?" "Exile to Earth in all cases.
complete forfeiture of property on board, departure with personal items only that they had with them at the time of trial. The exile policy had been controversial when Dr. Jackson first implemented it, but it was proving effective. On exile, the person lost all claim to all their possessions, dwellings, credits, and personal property. Word had spread quickly that the station's only law, cause no harm to another or another's, was enforced absolutely and immediately. Speaking of which, Denise continued, today's trial involves Joel Fontaine from engineering. He's accused of using an electronic cigarette in a shared workspace, allegedly causing harm to others through vapor exposure. Jay frowned. That seems minor. The principle is important. 7 jury members have been selected, people who know the accused and can fairly evaluate whether harm occurred. At 2 p.m., Jay made his way to Conference Room Delta, which had been converted into the station's first courtroom. Joel Fontaine sat at a simple table, looking nervous but not exactly terrified. The 7 jurors, engineers, technicians, and administrative staff who worked with Joel, sat in chairs arranged in a semicircle. No lawyers, no judge, no complex legal procedures, just people who knew the accused and vice versa, deciding whether someone had broken the station's single law. "Connie," Jay said, "please present the evidence." The wall display lit up with video footage from the engineering workspace yesterday. Joel could be clearly seen using an electronic cigarette, producing visible vapor clouds in the enclosed space. 3 other engineers were present, and one, Susan Martinez, could be seen moving away from the area and fanning her hand across her nose. The allegation, Connie's voice explained, is that the vapor from the electronic cigarette contains chemicals harmful to others, specifically nicotine, formaldehyde, and acrolein. Susan Martinez has filed a formal complaint stating the vapor caused her respiratory irritation and represents a health hazard. Joel stood up. "I didn't know it would bother anyone. I asked if anyone minded, and nobody said anything." Juror number 3, Elena Vasquez from Life Support, raised her hand. "Connie, what does current research say about secondhand vapor exposure?" "I have analyzed 47 peer-reviewed studies published between 2020 and 2033. The consensus indicates that electronic cigarette vapor contains much lower levels of harmful chemicals than traditional tobacco smoke, but is not harmless in all cases. The levels are lower than scented candles or even most perfumes. Acute exposure can cause respiratory irritation in sensitive individuals. Long-term effects still remain under investigation, but no permanent harm to others has been documented." Juror number 7, David Adkins from engineering, leaned forward. "Joel, you've been my partner on 6 projects. In your honest opinion, do you think Susan was genuinely bothered, or is this about something else?" Joel hesitated. I think she was really bothered. Susan doesn't complain about things unless they actually affect her. She's not the type to make stuff up." Jay watched the jury carefully. No grandstanding, no legal maneuvering, just people trying to figure out if someone they knew had genuinely harmed someone else. "Final question for everyone," said juror number 1, Chief Reynolds from Security. "Simple yes or no. Did Joel Fontaine cause harm to another?" Connie polled each juror individually, their responses appearing silently on Jay's personal display. Reynolds, yes. Vasquez, yes. Kim, no. Dr. Patricia Martinez, medical, yes. James Wright, engineering, yes. Lisa Park, administration, yes. Robert Adkins, maintenance, yes. The vote is 6 yes, 1 no. Under station rules, a single no vote results in acquittal. Joel Fontaine is acquitted. Jay felt a moment of surprise, then realized this was exactly how the system was supposed to work. Better to err on the side of forgiveness than harsh justice in a closed community. Joel looked relieved, but not exactly celebratory. "Susan, I'm sorry. I really didn't realize it was bothering you. I'll be more careful." Susan Martinez nodded. "Thank you. That's all I wanted." As the room cleared, Jay reflected on how different this was from Earth's legal systems. No appeals, no lengthy procedures, no technical loopholes, just community members deciding whether one of their own had caused genuine harm. Denise, show me those conversations about my leadership. Are you certain? Some leaders prefer not to know what people say about them. I'm certain. The display shifted to a compilation of recorded conversations from the past week. Jay's decision about the battle domes reminds me of King Solomon. Instead of choosing between two parents claiming the same baby, he found a way to make both sides prove their worth. He listens more than he talks. That's rare in a bureaucrat. Remember when he settled the hydroponics dispute? Brilliant solution. Expand growing space instead of fighting over existing space. Fair, but not soft. That exile last month for the saboteurs sent the right message. He trusts people to do their jobs. Chief Connor says he's never once micromanaged her team. Jay found himself oddly moved by the assessments. 2 months ago, he was terrified of making wrong decisions. Now people were comparing him to King Solomon. Denise, what do you think? I think wisdom often looks like common sense applied consistently with good intentions. You listen to people who know more than you do, you make decisions based on evidence rather than ego, and you take responsibility for outcomes. If that's Solomon-like wisdom, then perhaps wisdom is more common than people believe. Or perhaps, Jay said thoughtfully, good leadership is just being willing to do the job instead of worrying about whether you're qualified for it. I want to start handing out awards, letters of commendation, dinners for award presentations, medals, and that sort of thing. Work up some suggestions for me on how to best go about that. The construction sounds from the Battle Dome project reverberated through his office walls. In 6 weeks, they'd find out which design worked better. In the meantime, essays about Ender's Game would help people think about the nature of leadership, strategy, and the moral complexities of life and relationships. Jay pulled up the essay contest announcement and added a final line. Remember, Ender won not because he was the strongest or the smartest, but because he understood that every ending is also a beginning. Denise, can you work up a report on the new business startups for me? Every person that purchased a dwelling also received 100 square feet on 1/1 for business use. 100 square feet is big enough for a small kiosk, nothing more, but people could band together for a larger space. I already have that, sir. Would you like it now or just a summary? Just the summary and your observations. 203 kiosks have opened this month, mostly jewelry, paintings, hats, t-shirts, and the like. One business of note is Mr. Zoomies, which occupies a storefront proper. Ramanuj Nishad leases space from 200 other residents for store space of 2,000 square feet. He sells various electric scooters, electric bicycles, electric wheelchairs, and such. We might have to put up speed limit signs in the corridors. Jay chuckled. Your sense of humor is better than Connie's. Good work. Thank you for noticing, sir. I've been practicing with and learning from the new residents. Would you like to hear some dad jokes? They're silly. Sure. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't bicycles come out at night? I don't know. They're too tired. He chuckled again. You still need to work on it, but you're definitely improving by leaps and bounds, and I'm proud of you. That means a lot, coming from you, sir. Don't become a sycophant and disappoint me now. Oh, no, sir. I really mean it. 2 months into his role as administrator, Jay was beginning to understand that leadership wasn't about having all the answers. It was about creating environments where the right answers could emerge, where good people could do their best work, and where communities could build something better than any individual could achieve alone. The stations were only at 10% capacity, but they were already becoming something unprecedented in human history, a truly self-governing society built on a foundation of simple principles and mutual respect.
Maybe Solomon really had been onto something after all.
Jay made his way to Mr. Zumi's. The proprietor greeted him when he entered. "Welcome, friend. How may I assist you?" "My name is Jay. I was wondering what you'd recommend for me." My, you are a big fellow. My Western friends call me Noodle. My name sounds too much like ramen, the noodle, you know. Maybe you would like something like a self-balancing scooter or a kick scooter. I make them and others too. All my designs. Can you make a self-balancing one with a steampunk motif? You mean like Artie drives on Warehouse 13? I love that show. Yeah, me too. And yeah, like that. I already have that. Nobody was interested, so I put it in the back. I will get it. Wait here. Noodle scurried off to the back and returned riding the machine. He got off and said, "The handlebar adjusts up and down. The station charges the batteries wirelessly when it's not in use, and Denise keeps track of it automatically, so no alarm for theft." Sold. How much? For you, Mr. Kwaramba, there is no charge. Besides, I could not sell it anyway. Denise said, the price he had on it before was 15 credits. Please transfer 15 credits to his account. And Mr. Nisha, I was wondering if we could come to some kind of agreement should I wish to use your vehicles as a type of award in the future. It is my pleasure, sir. It would be good advertising for me. I will make you a very good discount. I'll want custom builds I'll specify later. I can do that. Oh, yes, yes. Denise, put this conversation in your long-term memory and draw up an agreement for us to finalize later. And contact the other vendors about similar deals to see if they're interested. Consider it done, sir. Jay adjusted the handlebars and rode the machine out of the shop.
These videos are time-consuming and a bit difficult to make. I would prefer if you told me now that you think they're crap. If not, then please at least hit the thumbs down button. Thank you. If you like the videos, please tell me, and tell me how to improve them. I'm just one guy, and I often get wrapped up in the technical details. I miss a lot of stuff, I'm sure. Fresh eyes see what I miss, so please tell me. At least hit the like button. And if you're so inclined, please hit the share button. Thank you.